What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Free Agent REI podcast. My name is Stratton Brown.
And my name is Michael Butler. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Some quick upkeep stuff. If you guys are looking for the best trained cold callers in the industry, go to callmagicians.com. Yeah, that's about all. What you got, Mike?
That's all I got. I have nothing. We
got to get you some batch promo codes.
Well, if you're looking to comp properties, right? You're not a realtor. You do not have MLS access. Go ahead and go to my Instagram. You can see the name is tagged right below. And there's a link to my link tree in my bio. Go ahead and click that, and all my stuff is in there. Give you 7 days free trial.
There we go. So, how was your week, bro? How's your business? I just saw you locked up 2 houses.
Oh, man. That one was tough, man. It's an old seller, right? We were supposed to lock this up on Tuesday. Man, it was a tough one, man. It had no problem negotiating prices and stuff like that. It was really when it came down to locking up the deal. She wasn't able to really. How did we try to do it? We called we had set the expectation that we were calling to pretty much lock the thing up. And when we called, she said something about her monitor not working. So I'm like, oh man, her monitor. So she was gonna have someone come fix it. I said, hey, just pull up your phone. You got an iPhone, pull up your phone. We'll go ahead and send it through DocuSign. It'll come through your email. She's walking us through it, dude. She opens up the email and it says not even that. I'm like, what does your phone say? And she goes, it says speaker, contacts, mute. And I was like, no. I was like, how old is your iPhone? Is it new? She's like, oh, it's relatively new. I'm like, okay, well, go ahead and put your phone at the bottom of the screen and swipe up. And so she's like, it's not doing it. So I'm like, do you have a button? She's like, I got the red button. I said, no, underneath it. And so there ended up being a button there. So anyway, we spent 2 hours walking through this process, created the email address, dude. I was trying not to get frustrated. I was feeling just like overwhelmed. But I just kept telling myself, eye on the prize, right? We're here to solve problems. And so we spent that time walking her through it. Okay, well, I'm going to review it. The funny thing is, that's a no-no. But I think when you're dealing with the older generation, they don't do anything overnight or, by day. You're not going to agree to something and they're going to sign it away, right then and there. So I just at that point, I had to lean on rapport built. And so we finally got that thing locked up today, dude. And thank God.
Where's this one at?
It's in Lemoore. It's actually in downtown Lemoore. It's 2 houses right next to each other. So we'll be going to go get pictures of it and stuff like that tomorrow. And then, we will be sending out the email.
Dope.
So you guys look out for that
one. Quick tip. I learned this one from Tang Nguyen, and he learned it from Chris the Shark. He was like, you want to give them a cool down period. Yeah. Right? After they sign, just talk to them about their day to keep that rapport there. And you're like, all right, thanks for the contract. Bye, bitch. Bow. Right? You want to.
And that's honestly, it was just like that. She had someone that was going to, what made it hard though, is that they always got to bring in this other person. And this other person, this seller, she's in Texas. And so, she spoke up this lady. The lady reached out to me the next day because she was going to be the one to help her read it and kind of go over it and stuff because it's kind of her field, And she's like, hey, I'm a realtor in Texas. And I said, I heard, she told me, nice to meet you. Spoke highly of you. Kind of just gassed it up a little bit. Spoke great things of you. And then she mentioned that, the contract being a 1-page contract, which typically sometimes with realtors, if they're not familiar with investors, they're like, well, what's this 1-page contract?
Like, what's this 1-page contract?
And so I just had to let her know. I was just like, look, I'm not obligated as a cash buyer to have to fill out that long document in order to purchase a property, and as is condition. I'm not looking for inspections. I'm not looking to do all these other things that typically, would happen in an escrow or a transaction. And so she was okay with it, and we worked it that way, man.
So how did you navigate that third party coming in, right? Like, how did you handle it? Did it come up out of nowhere? Because right now, right, with our team, we're going over identifying decision makers and their decision-making process. So when did you find out they had to talk to the realtor?
Well, she talked about this lady as being her, being a real close friend. She did mention that she was a realtor. And she made sure, like, it's funny when she brought her up, she was like, you know, I don't need her to help me make the decision. She definitely just, you know, she's one of her best friends. You know what I mean? And so she's like, at the end of the day, I want to sell it. She's had other offers, and you know, she's had higher offers or whatever it may be. But this deal was completely won based off of rapport. We've been talking to her for about 6-7 months. And that's just what it was, man. Once you guys are able to see where that house is, there's people that stay next door to it and stuff like that who's been trying to buy it for years. So I think that's why this one feels a little bit better, because there's definitely some people who had a shot at this, and so to come through, you know, with these two, it's actually pretty rewarding, man. Especially after taking
and neighbors, dude.
What's up?
And if it's neighbors, right? Because, well, one thing, you hear the neighbors are going to buy it all the time, and their asses never buy it. Like, oh, well, the neighbors are going to buy it. That's like hearing the tenants are going to buy it.
Well, there's a construction company literally like 2 doors down.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Like when I pulled up to go see, make sure it wasn't falling, these places weren't falling over, you know, just because where we were able to start negotiations, I was kind of like, oh, snaps. Like, you know what I mean? I kind of already knew what was up at that point. But she talked about this lady for a while, and that's why I said when she got on the phone, I knew that she wasn't necessarily going to be a decision maker, but I also knew that she was going to be someone that was going to mess up the deal, you know, if given the ability to. And so her hopping on and saying that, you know, first thing she told me, you know, hey, this is so and so. I'm a realtor here in Texas. You know, a power move, and I kind of had to knock that back real quick and just like, hey, I know who you are. You know, lotta. She hit me with the, you know, well, send the offer over, send your highest and best. Send your highest and best. And I stopped her right there in her tracks. And I said, you know, look, you know, we've been pretty much going, you know, talking about this property for the, you know, last few months. I know of other offers. And from my understanding, they weren't that much higher, hence why we offered what we offered her, you know, to show her that we were highly interested in the property, but to also make sure that she knew just how serious we were, right? Her offer was here. We came in here intentionally, you know, to let her know that, hey, we were ready to go with it. You know what I mean? So I told her we had no interest in getting in a bidding war. And I said, and if that's kind of where this was leading to, at that point, we would just withdraw our offer and we'd be okay with that. She was like, well, just send it over and, you know, we'll look at it. And, you know, if you had a higher offer, you would have just told me to fucking kick rocks.
Right. Well, I don't do bidding wars, bro.
I don't like, you know what I mean? We have good relationships when it comes to some of this stuff. Like I'm never going to be the highest bidder. You know, I might be the lowest, but there's always going to be some dipshit who just maybe don't like me or something, who's going to go ahead and go overpay for some shit. I'm not interested in doing that. Like if we haven't built a good enough relationship for you to trust the process of what we're doing together, you're not the right seller for me.
Right. And I mean, some people do more business than me, right? And they have a better buyers list, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like, that's not me. And then I don't like doing deals for minimal margin.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Because when you do get into a bidding war, like all you're doing is shrinking margin on yourself. And then you end up doing $4,000 deals and you're doing a bunch of $4,000 deals. I'm like, bro, well, I did 100 deals last year. Like your average assignment fee was like $3,000, dude.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what that was. And man, I think just going ahead and doing that, and it definitely helped. Went over and sent it over to the realtor. Then she asked me to send her a signed offer. So I'm like, oh my goodness. And so then I got some help. You know, we've been working this one with Dean and them, and so it was one of those where we just came at her and we just said, you know, look, you know, typically we don't send out signed offers unless we know a seller is going to sign immediately. You know, if that's what her plans are to do, then I have no problem sending that over. That's what we did. This was late last night. I guess she printed it out. The realtor printed it out, took it over to the seller's house. And then I talked to the seller this morning. She told me that, you know, today's your day. That's what she said. Today's your day, honey. I was like, yeah, that's what I like to hear. And she called me when I was wrapping up with football practice, and she was just like, hey, I signed the papers and everything like that. She was like, I think I'm gonna have to mail it to you because my monitor still ain't working. was like, oh, no. I said, if your realtor's still there, I said, I'm gonna send it to the email that we created for you, and she can help walk you through DocuSign. And so then that's pretty much how we got the deal done. She called me to let me know, and she was just like, hey, she was like, it's way different signing on that phone than it is signing on paper. She's like, I kept telling her to redo it. I said, well, you could have just, it gives you an option to select the style. You didn't have to keep going back and forth to try to draw it perfectly. So it was a great one, man. I really enjoyed the process of this one.
Man, I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of lessons to be learned there, right? Because you guys are, as anyone is going to get into this business and they start doing deals, doing sales, you're going to have some random ass person pop into the mix.
Yeah.
Right. And with real estate, it is generally the biggest transaction people make in their lives. Right. Yeah. Period. And so they want to feel confident in it. And you can't just wave off the said third party. You have to learn how to navigate that a lot better, even if it is an attorney and the attorney just decides to redline your whole fucking contract. And that has happened to me before, but we still made it work.
I walked away from something.
Don't ever say no to them running it to their attorney though, right?
Yeah,
then you sound just super shady. Yeah, you don't want to sound shady. Like, okay, but don't be afraid to put your foot down when an attorney tries to change up your entire contract and destroy the whole thing. Like, no, I'm not signing that. Like, that's not what we agreed upon. My contract is very fair, blah, blah, blah. And I had to do that when we were buying a triplex, to where she sent it to her attorney. And then I get my contract back, and legitimately every paragraph was redlined. Yeah, I have a 1.5-page contract. Like, what are you doing? Like, no, I'm not signing this.
And so then, it's not even a fair request in what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, and I tell sellers all the time, like, our contracts, like, to be honest with you, it protects me, but it's really no harm to you. So when they go and you know what I mean? Like, it's literally just to protect me, in the offer that we're making you. But for you, when they come back and they start redlining everything, like, bro, all of this is like bad on me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, fair is a good way of putting it.
And so you guys got to understand, right? The attorney's doing that just to show their customer that they actually do shit. If I send it to my attorney says, "Oh yeah, good." Like, why the fuck did I just get a bill for $500 for your hour of work then? Right? They're gonna go read through it. Okay, yeah, this, nope, not that, nope, won't do it, not that, blah blah blah, and then you move forward. But as far as like those third-party people, if you ever deal with anyone old, you're generally gonna get someone who is some type of third party. If they're an older seller, I suggest you get a third party anyways, just so you don't do any shady shit.
And be upfront with it. That's one thing that I've done with older sellers. I try to be proactive with that. And I definitely, like how we say, obviously you always want to ask, is there going to be any other decision makers? But if you're building rapport, typically you'll be able to find out, a son or a daughter or whatever it may be. And it's like, hey, will so-and-so be helping you with the decision, or at least helping you go through the documents? I definitely want you to, run it through people that you feel comfortable with, that's going to help to look out for your best interest. Obviously, we're going to look out for your best interest, but we definitely understand, coming from your side, we want to make sure that there's somebody who's there for you. You know what I mean?
Exactly. How was I going to structure that? Like, I just got off the phone with a seller's son, because as soon as she hopped on the phone with me, that came through my leads manager. I was like, oh yeah, like, so what's your son's phone number so I can talk to dude?
Oh yeah.
Like, what's your son's phone number? You're not making a decision on your own.
No.
Right. And you need to there's nothing wrong with bringing it to the forefront, right? And it just eliminates deal killers for you.
Yeah.
So a question we always tell our people to ask is, well, what did your realtor say about it? Why don't you just list it? Right. It's an option already. It's already out there in the forefront. You might as well bring it to light, talk about it, and handle it, instead of lose a deal and not know why.
Or spending your time on it. And then I'm like, you know what? Just a little bit more. No, fuck no. Sounds like a great property. Why aren't you just going to list it with a realtor?
Right. And don't be afraid to tell them to list it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Every deal's not for you, baby.
right? Don't be afraid to tell them to list it. And then generally, like somewhere in the call, I'm like, well, you got anybody else you want to talk to about this before you decide to sell to us or anybody else? Spouse, partner, lawyer, anybody like that? And then that way, like, and they just tell you. And like, oh no, it's just me. And then at the end, like, I'll call them out. Like, oh, I didn't think you really had anybody else to talk to.
What would be the cold part though? Is when it's an area that you kind of know that they ain't got nothing like that. And they're like, you know what? I think I had that with a seller before. I was in the living room and they're like, yeah, we should have our lawyer look at it. And I was like, bro, you ain't got no lawyer, bro. Don't be trying to play me, dog. You ain't got no lawyer. You either agree on this or you don't, bro.
This is a 6, damn it.
My attorney look at it, see, make sure everything right in here.
This is a page, and I wrote it myself.
Yeah, bro, you get out of here.
That's good. Today's topic, really, I mean, we can talk about decision makers and deal killers all the time, but now that we are somewhat experienced in the wholesale game, right now it's time to start transitioning into buy and hold stuff. And we're going to talk about some of the issues, at least some of the issues I've run into, and things that I have had to get fixed and everything else in order to be able to at least be in a position to buy assets now.
Yeah.
In cash flow, right? Like, well, I just want cash flow. I want cash flow because no matter any one of these wholesalers tell you, if they tell you they're doing 10 deals a month consistently and it's only 10 deals, they're lying to you. Right? There is deal flow. There are good months, there are bad months, there's ebbs and flows to business, and you're going to have some bad months, or you're going to have some stretches where the big month is about to pop. But you had a really, really skinny month that month before that barely covered bills. You want to at least have cash flow coming in to feed you or just to feed your business. My friend owns, I think, like 11 units free and clear. During Corona, he's like, bro, I lived off of my rentals and my rentals fed my wholesale business. Right? Like that's you want options to have that instead of having to go to a credit card or having to go like a family member, God forbid, or something like that. You want to have that peace of mind. And again, we all get into this real estate stuff just to accumulate wealth.
Yeah. Speaking of that, like you were saying, with moving towards buying and holding for passive income,
and it's not passive.
No, well, not it's a whole lot easier for the most part. It's what do you mean? You said it's not passive?
No, I mean stocks are a lot more passive than real estate.
Well, you get what I'm saying. It's easier than a wholesale deal,
right? But it's misleading.
But it's misleading for people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like when I say passive, it's because I'm talking about rentals in monthly mailbox money.
That's us. But like there's other people who get into this.
Is there going to be a tenant who doesn't fucking pay rent? Yeah, there is. But hopefully you got fucking 10 other ones that do. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the same thing as like when most people be like, oh, you're gonna get renters. What happens if the toilet breaks? Like that's essentially kind of like what that is.
No, I don't. But people think. I think about everyone we know who's still mostly hands-on with their rental portfolio, right? Like even Michael Zuber has to make decisions and it's not passive. I think people they think it's like, okay, I go to sleep and I get mailbox money. I never have to worry about it again. Like the newer people, right? As they're getting into it.
It's not stressful, dog. Like when I say passive, it's because like you can make 30, 40, 50 grand on a wholesale deal. And in the back of your mind, you're still thinking, well, fuck, what do I got in my pipeline? You know what I mean? Because you're like, this shit, I market for a few months to pay my bills. When's the next one coming in? So like, it's not, I told someone before, like, man, I just, I can't wait till it gets to a point where it's easier, and not easier in the sense of like, oh, it's just easy money. Like it's just passive. I'm going to sleep and the shit's coming in, but easy in the sense of like, if one or two of my tenants don't pay rent, I'm not tripping. You know what I mean? Like it's my money, pay me. I'm gonna go find out why you didn't pay me, but I'm not tripping. Like, cause I still know that my shit's getting paid. So that's the difference. And so, yes, we make a lot of money wholesaling, but it is still a job. And so it is one of those things where in the back of your mind, you're always, you're thinking like, shit, I got to keep going. You're afraid of slowing down because you hate for that time to come. I experienced it year one when marketing stopped and shit just kind of got bad. And then I had a few months where wasn't nothing coming in. And I promised myself that I would never do that shit again. Right. So that's kind of what I mean when I say passive, because to me, that is passive because I'm at least not, stressed out about it.
Right. I mean, I get that. But I mean, what would be passive income for me? I think the most passive income for me is affiliates.
But
I legitimately, I make, huh?
What if someone cancels their subscription?
Okay, I mean that happens. But like I'm still out doing stuff, right? But if I make X amount in affiliates, it is the true most hands-off thing I've ever done. I make money for being Stratton Brown.
That's where you put that.
You know what I'm saying? Like my affiliate fees are just me, hey, use X product. Mm-hmm. Okay, like, and I have a couple rentals worth of affiliates. Yeah. Some months I have 5 figures, well, like 10K of affiliates.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
And how dope is that? Because, like, again, I have affiliates, whatever, with Propstream, right? But the thing is, like, it's shit that we use. So the only difference,
right?
The only difference is like now I'm able to tell people, and at least I benefit off of it. I was gonna tell people fucking anyway, you know what I mean? Because it's what I use, it's what I love, and so the fact that I can turn that into something passive, just by continuing to tell people what I use, you know what I mean? I think that's pretty dope.
Oh, if you guys want to become a Call Magicians affiliate, go to callmagicians.com and sign up for an affiliate. We probably have the best. I think we have the best single affiliate program out there in the real estate.
Just reach out to me. Don't call. Just reach out to me. I'll send you my link. Make it easier for them,
Well, that is you guys can't sleep on affiliates. Like at the beginning, I was like, what? Like, why would I want to do an affiliate? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, why? Like, I don't need an affiliate code. Like, it didn't even like pass by my mind where this is a real income opportunity to where there's people in our industry who make 6 figures a month for being them.
Being Stratton Brown.
But then they get a bunch of free products.
Being OG Fish Room.
Like,
hey guys, go ahead and drop some comments, man. I'm interested to see who's in here. Obviously, this is just a conversation between Stratton and I, but we definitely like to get conversations going with you guys. And we don't know who's watching until you guys comment. So I do see that there is people tuning in. I'd love to see who's up in here. Spark a little interest in here.
What's it called? Go ahead. James, go to callmagicians.com. It's in the bottom right corner and just sign up for one. You can
go to my link in my bio on Instagram. It's way easier, bro. So, Ms. Green, how's it going? So she helped me out on the home that we had on Lily, the one I had with the seller on the west side who just like we'd show up, she wouldn't open the door. There was like 6 or 7 siblings on it. Was it Lily or Lotus? Bird. Remember that house on Bird?
Like one of the first ones, the blue one?
It was at the beginning of last year.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, she helped us get that signature and stuff like that. Notarized it for me.
Oh, awesome.
So if you guys need a notary.
Yeah. Miss Green, shout out your notary company.
Go ahead and put it on there so we let all the people know. Mark.
Sure, talks make sure I get important. I don't know who Surratt is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but what the biggest thing he's talking about is how personal brand business.
So let me put this into context for you. Big dog, Mr. Nice Hair, Nice Beard, Jason Pritchard. My man made a good amount of money last year. And I think 40 to 50% of his personal business was referrals.
Yeah.
That is how strong your personal brand is.
Yeah.
Let it, like, the reason I post on Instagram is so people know what I do, and then I make more business. People want to do business with people who are doing business.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, your personal brand inside of that carries over, and if you ever a slime ball, that carries into it. But people just want to do business with people who are doing business, man. So you got to let everybody know what you do. I was talking to one of our clients the other day, and he was like, you know where all my business comes from? I let everybody know I buy houses, and somehow people send me houses.
Crazy, right? I tell people this way, when you talk about branding, everyone's going to be different. And I think it takes a lot to kind of, shift your mind around it. But you got to think of it like when I got into real estate, like I gravitated towards a certain person. When Stratton got into it, he gravitated towards a certain person. We gravitate towards personalities or people who we think we resemble or people
who we resonate with.
Who we resonate with. And so the only how people can resonate with you is when you continue to put yourself out there so they can find little things about you that reminds them of themselves, right? And so then that's how they start to buy into that brand. But one example that I heard before, someone was like, if you were to go to the store or if I told you to name, 3 brands of toothpaste, what would you name? And he was like, you'd probably say Crest, Colgate, and what's another one?
I only buy Colgate, so.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But notice I just named 2. And they said, like, it's not because that one has a higher, percentage of fucking fluoride or one keeps your teeth whiter. Like, we don't fucking know the science behind it. It's because you see it the most.
Yep.
Well, when
think about Kleenex.
Or Kleenex, like, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you go somewhere, you looking for some Kleenex, or that ain't Lysol. Where the other ones at? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're looking for something that you're familiar with. And so when I first started and I started posting everything, Butler buys houses at the time, right? I felt like I was just freaking blowing up people's Facebook pages. I'm like, man, they're gonna block me, they're gonna unfriend me. But then I was just like, no, because the more people that know what I do, like, it may be annoying at the time, but I just need them to, be somewhere at a family reunion or something. I'm like, man, I got these tenants ain't paying me rent. They've been there for 6 months. Oh, my boy, Butler buys houses. And so that's the power of branding. You want to just make sure that you're on someone's mind when whatever it is that you do or service that you provide comes up, they think of you.
Right. And it comes into now as like, we're going like, okay, I need to raise cash. I need to raise private capital. I need to get into a bigger deal. I need to get into a mastermind. Like, everything you do now, especially with social media everywhere, is your personal brand, dude.
Yeah.
Call Magicians has grown off of my personal brand and nothing else. Like, just from me having credibility and me knowing people. We don't run ads.
People do deals.
I do podcasts and I talk on podcasts, and it's all come from credibility.
Yeah.
Right. And so me posting on social media only helps me. The more I post, people bring me JV deals. People come up and like, hey, can I pay you for mentoring? Right. And then we get more Call Magician clients. So the more active I am at building my own personal brand, just the more successful I'll be. That's just true the way I see it. Huh?
I said, bro, I'm on TikTok.
I started on TikTok. TikTok's a hard one for me.
You know what? It's getting easier. But yeah.
You've been going a little bit harder on it, dude. You've been going harder on it.
Because it's gotten easier. I think I was overthinking it, whatever it may be, but it was TikTok, dude. I've had TikTok for so long and I hadn't posted anything until Steve Trang was giving away one of his courses or something like that. And I was like, shit. No one was replying to it. I'm like, well, I'm about to hop on this to give me a free course out of it. You know what I mean? But, I guess, I'm not, I love to watch TikTok, but I'm not, I'm not the dancing type and shit like that. I got 2 left feet, but.
Damn. So they actively fixed their algorithm to discourage dancing videos because they don't want to be known as the dancing. Okay. Because they want to be more of an informative platform. Like people are like talking about this, right? Because like I didn't ever get on TikTok, man. I don't want to be dancing. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not dancing. No,
right? I don't want to go dancing on there. Like that's nonsense. Like it's a bunch of hoopla.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now there's a bunch of people who only just doing like look at Steve. Steve ain't dancing.
But when Steve got on there, I was like, man, I probably need to get on TikTok. And I'm glad I was thinking that because fucking I swear to you not, it seemed like it just flooded with investors. Like within like 2 weeks, like everybody's on it. And it's not a bad thing, you know what I mean? Just the information is out there. It's a younger generation. So, I mean, the influence is probably a little bit higher than it is on Instagram because of what the audience is on TikTok. I mean, you're talking about...
and you can grow faster.
Yeah.
You can grow way faster, dude, right? And you get paid for your views just like you do on YouTube.
Oh, so yeah, for sure I ain't getting shit.
What is this? Great answers. I've experienced the social media recognition in my muscle side. I see now how all events equal opportunities. Thank you so much. Yeah, TikTok was that one where I couldn't do it, but it seems worth it. Again, great points.
Yeah.
Of course, Mark.
Appreciate that, man. I like that.
My mentor, you know, he told me to do more. Post on social media.
Can you not like talk about your mentor? Like it's like I feel like if you pay for it, like you can talk about it.
No, I mean it's cool, bro. Like don't worry about it.
Okay. But you gotta be secretive about it.
His big thing was, bro, like you need to post on social media more. He's like, you need to be doing more Facebook Lives. People need to know more about you. Huh?
I've told you that.
I know. But then like he's telling me it too.
Yeah.
And I know it and I'm posting. He's like, it's not enough.
Not enough.
It's not, sometimes I'm doing like 3 to 4 videos a week on Facebook and YouTube. And then I post every day.
I really enjoy your quote of the day, by the way. Oh, not just like today, but like, yeah, I like it in general. Yeah.
Thank you. I get a lot of confidence on it. It makes me feel good. I'm glad people at least find it helpful.
It's cool because you see the growth in it. Like kind of like our podcast, like, right? Like people who've seen like our first one. And then as we go, like each one, you start to see the growth. Like, I think that's really when you start to build like a community because they feel like, oh man, I was with them shooting in the gym. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when their camera abilities wasn't shit, you know, and now look at them with 3 angles, you know, stuff like that. So I think it's pretty legit to see the growth in your quote of the day, man.
Thank you, bro. But the hardest thing I think is coming up with quotes. Like Kalani the other day was like, Kalani actually gave me that quote. Shout out Kalani. Shout out Love My Life. She was like, you know what? Whatever. She was like, yeah, LeBron invested $1 million. You need to talk about that. LeBron James invested $1 million into himself. We're investing money into ourselves too. Like everybody needs to invest money. I was like, yeah, bro. Like, because nobody really thinks about it that way, and we can talk about it right here, right?
Yeah.
Because I think everybody needs to hear it, even if it is a quote of the day. You gotta invest. You're a professional now.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're professionals. The more money you invest in yourself and make yourself better, the more money you're gonna make.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna get worse. Even if you do get scammed, you made yourself better and learned how to not get scammed.
You won't get worse hiring a credible coach because you're literally. I was listening to another podcast today. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at not just like, you know, just giving people shout outs, you know. But I was listening to another podcast today, and that's kind of what they were talking about. Like you're gonna make more money when you pay a coach because they may not be able to, I don't want to say tell you the best way, but they'll be able to tell you what not to do. Like they, you know what I mean? They may not be able to lead you to all the wins, but they for damn sure can tell you where the losses are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't do that. You know, don't do this, you know, so.
Save yourself time on that. Save yourself time on this.
Just do this. Like, you know what I mean? And that's really all it is. It's time versus money. You don't get more time, but you can always get more money. So if you're going to pay someone a lick of money and it saves you a bunch of time, like, man, it's worth every dollar.
Well, and for me, dude, I just want a step-by-step plan. Like, I'll follow that shit. Yeah. Like, you're here. I have to go do XX next, and I'm there. Cool. Right?
I want a road.
I have a roadmap, and I walk down it, and they're like, hey, man, do this, this, and this. will have multiple six figures in the bank account in 3 months. Okay. Like I'm running.
Ties into the athlete part of it, right? Of just of being like a collegiate athlete or just an athlete of any, well, mainly collegiate athlete, just because like our itineraries, our calendars and like all that stuff was planned out. It was a roadmap. It was like, hey, you do this stuff, you'll be a champion.
Right. Well, if I take that even farther, the coaches who actually did shit, right? Like, so Coach McDonald for you guys, like, but I had Coach Ward. He put out like 11 first-round draft picks at DB.
Yeah. Yeah. Who?
If he tells me something, and he's like, this will get you in the NFL, like, I don't think he's wrong. He coached Davian Clowney, Stephon Gilmore. Like, he coached some dogs.
You feel me? So if he, like you said, like credibility, he has a brand. He has a brand of
he has a strong ass brand.
You know what I'm saying? So like he tells you jump through a wall, you like shit. Hey, everybody else must have jumped through this wall because they in the league. Like, you know what I mean? That's how powerful a brand is.
And like it's no different, right? That person, and now my mentor built up a brand and I paid him a good amount of money just to tell me what to do.
That's what his time is worth.
And his time is worth way more than that, right? Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even worth it. It's not. And people want to say like he can low key be an asshole, but he's not even being an asshole because he can technically be like, bro, like me helping you right now, like isn't even worth my time, and that's not even being an ass.
That's legitimate math. Legitimate math.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's we talk about like how I was a teacher, and one of those things about me going back and substitute teaching again. I love substitute teaching. I love being on campus. And I love, you know what I mean? Like I love being with the kids and stuff like that. But it's $150 a day. And there was a point in time where I'm like, shit, I don't even know if I can get out of bed for $150. 8 hours.
That sounds ignorant. That sounds ignorant, right? To some people. But it's the truth. Like once you get to a certain point, yeah, like I don't need it.
If my wife was okay with me going to my office for 6 to 8 hours, right. I can guarantee you I'll walk back with more than 150. You know what I mean? Like, so just like you start to balance like your time. Like, I'm sorry, but like I don't, 150 in an hour may not even be cool for me, let alone 6.
All right, that damn 6 hours.
I'm not an ass. I just my time's worth more at this point in time.
But I mean, you got to get there, right? Because at a point in time,
that's
a lot of money.
150
and there was no other way to make money. You got to think about that.
And it is good money. Like, let's not, like, all this shit can go to fucking boom and shut down my whole business. And luckily for me, I can still go substitute teach and still cover all my expenses.
Without a doubt. Personal. I just lost we were on a really good personal branding track, but back into personal branding helping you raise capital so we can buy rentals, dude. Yeah. So we'll talk about Michael Butler just having to go to a friend of ours. He built a personal brand for himself. He raised private cash to fund his Airbnb. Yeah, that is not happening without Michael building a positive personal brand. Unsecured. Which is big. That means if he defaults, only thing that gets tarnished is his name, and then so the lender feels comfortable, right? Because he knows Michael's put a lot of effort into his name and brand to where he's not going to be stupid and just destroy it over a small, like 25 something grand.
20 grand,
right?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And so, I mean, you doing that, even though it's just you talking, us being on podcasts, you going out and talking at meetups, your name in the community builds weight. Like you're investing in relational capital.
Yeah.
And again, now you got a rental, and you told me it's going to make you like $1,000 a month plus.
Which one?
The Airbnb.
Not like that. Not like that. The new one.
Whichever, right? But regardless, even if you get $500 a month off that Airbnb, how much?
It'll at least be $1,500. I think.
No money out of your pocket. You raised the cash.
Yeah.
And that all came from you having a personal brand and letting people know what you do. You got to at least let your family members know what you do. Someone's got to know what you do. If nobody knows what you do, how are you going to raise cash? How are you going to grow?
Yeah, no, for sure. And like you said, but again, you talked about the branding, and that's all, like you said, letting people know what you do. And that's where social media comes into it, because I understand the idea of keeping your head down and just working and grinding. If you know, right? That's the word. That's kind of the term they say. If you know, you know. Well, you know what? Like I have such a that's what I'm looking for. Like I'm on a mission in a way. You know what I mean? And I ain't got time for it. If you know, you know. Like you know what I mean? Like I want to make sure that you know, and so I post it all, and I'm okay with that. Like the losses, all that stuff. If I fall, watch me get back up. If I slam dunk a deal, cool. I'll let you know that too. It's nothing to hide there, and it's never in a way to brag. The biggest thing for me is credibility. It's when I need to go somewhere, if I need help with something, like I want people to know, like I've been 100% transparent, and I can be trusted. So that's what my brand is.
And then like this podcast is 95% just personal brand.
Yeah.
Like that's all it's here for.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously to help you guys, but us helping you guys, just more credibility.
Because this is a conversation, like I said, we started this podcast with the idea that these are conversations that we have on the phone. Let's just put them on camera to create more content and to help bring value to other people. These are conversations that now and not necessarily this one, right? You're paying for higher level conversations between someone to be in a room with other people, right? But essentially, like the stuff that we're talking about, essentially we could, you could charge for it. So it's like, hey, let's have these conversations online and let people kind of tune in and give some feedback on it.
Thanks for tuning in, Miguel. Know me, like me, trust me. Exactly. Like they got to know you, like you, and trust you. And people will know you, like you, and trust you without even meeting you. Yeah. As long as like they tune into the content. Like I know Joe Rogan personally. Never met the dude, but I feel like I've listened to so many damn podcasts. Like I know the dude personally. Huh? Hey, that's the homie, bro. That's the homie.
For sure.
But Brandon Turner, bro. Think about that. I feel like I know Brandon Turner personally.
Yeah.
I've been listening to Brandon Turner for 5 years.
I think that's crazy, dude. Just to watch where that podcast has gone, bro, is ridiculous.
Exactly. And then so I want to talk about just like moves we're making to get into more cash flow, because I think it's easy to get caught in the wholesale game. Mm-hmm. And the wholesale game is just what's the word? It's a hamster wheel. It's a hamster wheel, bro.
It's a hamster wheel. Yes. You're always going to want to
if you stop, the cash just doesn't come in.
Yeah.
And most people have to be involved. There are very, very, very few people in the country who have like scaled out a company to the point to where like, bro, I don't do anything in it.
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah.
To where in the grand scheme of things, they're capped at 2 million, 3 million, operating at a 30% take home. To where that's a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of business, that's not what you want, right?
Yeah.
And then you still want cash flow, because you are going to have hard ass months. Mm-hmm. I've had hard months, even though I still feel like I'm doing good now. I've had extremely hard months to where like we're getting leads, deals just ain't coming.
Yeah.
I'm spending the money. I'm making the offers. I'm talking to the people. We're just in a lull. And if you're in sales, you go into lulls too. So you got to have that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You got to have that cash flow, dude. You got to have that cash flow to at least give you that peace of mind for you and your family. Like, bro, my bills are paid.
Yeah.
If I absolutely need it, my bills are paid. Between my affiliates and other companies, my bills are paid.
Yeah.
So like wholesale isn't end all be all. Now, between my companies, like if I don't really want to spend money in marketing, I can pull money out of my other stuff and put it into my wholesale stuff, because I don't want to dip into my own personal savings if I have bad months.
And we talked about like with me and Airbnb, right? Like this is, for those of you guys who maybe this is your first time tuning in, like I didn't get we didn't get our first Airbnb until we went live December 12th was our first guest, right? We got our first one at the end of November, locked up our second one, probably early January, mid-January-ish, right? And that one will be going live the 1st of March. But that's kind of what it was for me. I looked at it as, again, wholesaling is fun. You get a lot of money doing it. But at some point, I don't want to have to be doing all this shit all the time. And so Airbnb provides the ability to be able to make a really good chunk of change that is a little bit easier than I would say, wholesaling. And so my thought was people would pay, and this is actually honestly like this is like my pitch, even when we're talking about private money, right? You talk about, as investors, we would spend 80, 90, 100 grand for a property that we can burr and cash flow $300 a month off of it, right? That's a fucking deal. And so when I talk about lending, I'm like, hey, if I need 20 grand and I'm going to pay you 15% on this money, you're going to get $500 a month for 6 months. And then you'll get like another, like, I think it's like $1,500 or something like that. Like, and that's off 20 grand. You pay 100 grand all the time to make $300.
To get that, right?
To get that. I'm giving you 500 a month off 20 grand.
Easy cash flow.
Easy cash flow. And then for me, people are like, well, why would you pay such a high percentage for 20 grand? Because me being able to utilize someone else's 20 grand to go ahead and scale this business that's going to make me at least $2,000 a month, bro, that's my wholesale business pretty much just becomes the fucking cash, the ATM machine for the Airbnb. So I'm able to go lock up multiple of these properties because I know I'm going to be able to make 20 grand to pay that shit back in 6 months. Oh, bro, come on now. Don't play with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm going to throw 20 grand at anything for $2,000 a month.
Anything, bro.
So
anything.
That was my thought.
And Bigger Pockets is huge, Miguel. And then are y'all working any markets outside of California? I mean, Indiana, we still have stuff going on there. What I've learned is that I've been like, oh, I'm gonna take over the world. I'm going to 9 different markets. And then I get 9 different markets. I don't know how the fuck to evaluate anything. And then the leads are worthless to me.
Yeah.
Like that is truly what I've run into, right? To where even now I have gone a lot deeper in my own market instead of wider into podunks. Mm-hmm. Because with the podunks, unless I'm doing creative financing, I can't make a cash offer work. Nobody wants to do stuff, right? Like in order for me to get it at a price point to where it's feasible for other investors, nobody wants to sell at that price. And the odds of them selling at that price don't work.
What do you mean by deeper?
More marketing my own area in different marketing channels.
Okay.
Right. And so now instead of just cold calling all of Central Valley, I'm going to cold call Fresno until I can't cold call Fresno anymore. And then we have our direct mail and we'll direct mail Fresno until we can't anymore.
Direct mail too?
Yeah.
Bro, my first batch got delivered on Wednesday. I was fucking juiced when I got the email. I was like,
congrats.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, but man. Then what else? PPC. I turned off my PPC, bro. I wasn't liking it. It's a lot more high ticket than I want to be. But then national average, bro, it evens out to being the same amount as cold calling.
Yeah.
You just have to be able to front it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I can't front it. I always say PPC and those SEOs and stuff like that. Like cold calling, I can understand cold calling. I can hop on a phone call and be like, bro, this is where we lost this lead. You know what I mean? Like PPC, I can't get on and be like, maybe we should switch this code. And like, I don't know, bro. So it's one of those where it just feels like it's just money just going, in the thin air. And I have no idea what the fuck happened. At least cold calling, I can at least, put my finger on the pulse and have an idea of what's going on.
Right. And not just have someone click and click and click and then it's over.
Or someone telling you like, "Oh no, it's doing good, man. Just keep believing in it." Like, it's kind of hard to keep believing in it, bro. My wife ain't taking that as an answer. Oh, baby, it's good. Just keep believing in it. Trust the process.
Trust the process. What else? But that's my whole reasoning behind wanting to get into more businesses. And really, wholesaling is awesome. Wholesaling will always be there. Wholesaling is what got me into business. But now I need to look at other things of, okay, even if I do make a lot of money wholesale, where am I going to put that cash? Like, I don't want to just keep throwing it back into marketing. I really don't.
Yeah.
Because then that becomes a never-ending trap of scaling, like scaling to oblivion or scaling till you're unhappy. And then like that cash is gone. Like that cash is gone. It's not bringing you back any more cash. Maybe you made some bad mistakes and it's a lesson learned. But at least if you made a bunch of mistakes 6 months down the road, at least you can pay for your house and you can afford some groceries. And you don't have to go drive Uber. And you don't have to go do Instacart if worse comes to worse.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Anybody got any questions, man? We're at about 15 minutes.
Just drinking a Diet Coke.
What is this? Belvie. Sodium-free, calorie-free, sugar-free, sparkling grapefruit water. It is fantastic.
What's the ones that we had at what's the
Lecrae.
Yeah, the one we had at Cigar Lounge. Shout out to Cigar Lounge, though. That place is dope. What's it called?
Cigar Maspino.
Yes. Got it. Oh fuck! Is it even open?
Yeah, it's been open.
It's not like a lot of people go there. It's not like there's a lot of people that like congregate there, so I can see why they would be able to stay open.
I mean, I go there sometimes 3 times a week.
I got to get over there, man. I definitely have a great time every time we go. So we just talked about making things a little bit more passive. Like you said, if you have any questions, go ahead and put the questions in there. We're getting close to an hour mark, and that's typically where we like to try to shut it down. So if you got questions, go ahead and hit that up. But that's pretty much what wholesaling has become for me. I think this year is really just finding something that I can do with that money that's going to make me more money, and literally just throwing them at it.
And then eventually you're just going to raise it. I would want to come up with a way where I don't have to keep wholesaling.
I still like wholesaling. Like that's kind of like it. Thank you first and foremost, because definitely starting to track these numbers makes things a little bit easier. But then also being able to rely on other people doing other things definitely makes things a whole lot stressful, you know. So that was a good words of advice last week. I think you gave it to me.
KPIs are key. All right, man. I don't think we got any questions. You got any parting words?
Yes. So we just finished, obviously, our first Airbnb. We're working on finishing our second Airbnb. If you guys don't know, obviously, I love Southeast Fresno. So I'm definitely looking for anyone who has a rental property that maybe they're currently renting right now, or they're looking for, possibly to sell a property. I'm just looking for something in Southeast Fresno. So we're going to talk 93727. I like 93703. I like 93704 and 93726. And shoot, obviously, I like 93728, right? When we talk to Tower District. So if you just have a rental property, or anyone that has a rental property, have them reach out to me. I would love to be able to rent that property from them, if not buy that property from them. So again, if you know anyone in those 4 zip codes, 93727, 93703, 93704, 93726, and 93728, have them reach out to me. I would love to rent their property.
Hell yeah. What are your thoughts about using a hard money lender to acquire an Airbnb? If you're buying the actual asset, yes, and you're going to BRRRR it and then Airbnb it, awesome. Besides that, a hard money lender is not going to give you an unsecured loan for $20,000.
Yeah.
Got to have multiple streams of income. What about assisted living? the assisted living stuff will make you absolute bank. But
I don't know what's RCFE.
I don't know what RCFE is, but I know a couple guys in our market.
Yeah, a guy that works
Two
with
guys.
Kyle, right? A guy that works with Kyle, and then I know someone else that's getting into it with licensing and stuff like that.
You make $20,000 a month, but then I've talked to other people in other markets to where at this point, bro, like you're managing doctors, and that gets to be a headache because they're smarter. Like they are smarter than you or whatnot, but still, I mean, it's amazing cash flow.
I mean,
residential care for the elderly.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like
talked to someone who wasn't very happy with it, like with a residential care facility.
But you got to get with people who do that. Like let's be real. Like when you talk about like diversifying, like getting multiple streams of income, like I'm not gonna go open up a residential care facility with thoughts of me running it. You know what I mean? Like that's a partner venture. You're getting with someone who already does that for a living, and look, I'm just gonna be the money man behind it. You know what I mean? And so then like daycares, I'm not watching no badass kids. I'm gonna get with someone who has daycares and they know how to hire for daycares. Like, bro, I'm gonna supply the home for it. This is what I want. Handle it. You know what I mean? So yeah, like you said, I mean, it can be a headache, but you're not going into those things because that's not my niche. That's why you pay people to
or it could be your niche, but you don't know it yet, and you'd still bring in a partner at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Again, if you guys are looking for cold callers, go to callmagicians.com. We got the best cold callers in the industry. Thank you guys so much. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's going to get tough, but you're going to get a deal and you make more money than you've ever made in your life. See you guys.